GROW is a South African-born network which offers low-cost creches situated across Cape Town, Johannesburg and Durban, and as well as Pietermaritzburg. The centres benefit 1,720 children across the country and equip female entrepreneurs to run financially sustainable small businesses. They are also changing the status quo in the ECD sector by offering quality and professionalism that disadvantaged communities have never seen before. For more on this, we're joined by the CEO of GROW, Tracey Chambers. Tracey, a very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning, Cynthia. Thanks for having me.
Now, for the sake of those that don't necessarily the GROW Edu Centre, just briefly tell us about these centres.
Well, as you said in the intro, we're trying to set a new standard for early learning in developing communities that really unlocks human potential. And we're talking about the potential of the children, we're talking about the potential of the teachers, and very importantly, we're talking about the potential of the women who have dedicated their lives to running these centres. And we do that using a social franchising model. So what we've done is we've really mapped out the entire recipe that a school owner needs to run a highly professional centre that's offering high quality education. And then we invite women who are running existing centres to join the franchise, and they really are taken through this recipe step by step. They join us for a 5-year period, and we see massive transformation as they implement the franchise model as it's been designed.
So who do you generally cater for? I mean, which communities have benefited from this?
Well, we're based in Cape Town, Durban, Pietermaritzburg and Johannesburg. And we work primarily in low-income communities. So we work in most of the townships around Cape Town. And we're really looking, it doesn't really matter where we work. We're looking for a passionate woman who has a heart for children and a head for business. And she wants to transform her centre into what we call a 5-star centre. She knows that parents will pay for quality. And if she can offer better quality in her neighbourhood, parents will stop having to transport their children outside of their neighbourhood in search of that quality, which is wasting money on transport, and instead that money could be used for fees that will help her run a sustainable centre.
And you also give opportunities to female business entrepreneurs here?
Well, I mean, in South Africa, the early learning sector is dominated by women. So 100% of our centre owners are women. And most of them started their centres because they're passionate about children and know very little about business. And when we take on a centre, very often these centres are actually costing them money and not earning them any livelihood. And so we partner with a centre owner, and we really invest a lot in her business skills. She gets a business mentor, which she meets with regularly. We help her through the registration process of her centre, which is very, very onerous and very complex, and really just helping her to be a professional business owner.
And how many centres do you have currently?
We currently have 44 centres around the country, and as you said, those centres educate over 1,700 children daily.
What's the role of IMP in all of this, and how have they helped out?
Well, we participated in a case study earlier in the year where the Impact Management Project, what they're trying to do is they're trying to develop a common framework for measuring impact across any organisation in the world. More and more funders wanting to fund either impact projects are asking themselves, well, how do I decide if I've got $1 million or R1 million, how do I decide which project is going to give me the most impact for our money? And so they've developed a framework as to how organizations can measure their impact. GROW is passionate about measuring impact. We want to make sure that every rand is delivering change and long sustainable impact. So we participated in this project. We shared with them all our impact measurement data, and a company called Relative Impact did this study for us. And now we can use this impact framework to really showcase the work that we do on an international stage, to show that GROW does have impact and to bring GROW essentially to the world.
And how do people get involved and also benefit from the IMP?
So the IMP is a free management framework that anybody can use. There is the impact management website. But I would say that if you're based in South Africa, I would definitely get in touch with Relative Impact. Colin Haberton and his team are very skilled on this tool, and they can certainly help you navigate the next steps that you need to take if you're passionate and determined. I think it's very important to measure impact because it gives funders trust that you know whether your initiative is having impact and that you're transparent about sharing that with them if they choose to journey with you.
When one thinks of low-cost creches, I mean, one imagines that certain amenities are not included as a result of, budgetary issues or budgetary considerations. So will this perhaps not, affect the quality of these centres or compromise the quality thereof?
Yeah, well, what GROW does initially, and we're a non-profit entity, and we raise funds, which is why impact measurement is so important. We raise funds, we run an adopt-a-centre program, we raise funds from international organisations, local philanthropists, who really take on a centre for this 5-year period. And in that, they invest in the centre, they do an infrastructure upgrade to make sure that it's compliant with the registration requirements. And then we also invest significantly in providing high-quality educational equipment and extensive kit that you would expect to see in a 5-star school, with a very, very detailed daily program as to how to use that equipment, as well as in many other activities, so that children are developing and thriving. And so this is all provided up front. We are also currently engaging with a number of loan providers who are interested in providing centre owners with loans so that we can kind of go faster and are not totally dependent on philanthropic donations. And then, of course, the theory of change is that as the quality outputs of the centre improve, we know that there are many, many parents who understand the importance of education and know that education is the ticket out of poverty, and prioritize education as their most important spend in their household. And so as the centre continues to improve quality, parents start to want to pay for that quality. And we've seen that centres are able to progressively increase their fees to cover their costs. The very important thing is that women in the sector, 100% of teachers are women in the sector, and most of these teachers are earning below minimum wage. Now, I think that's unacceptable. So we have to find a way between government, between philanthropy funding, and parents, that we can find a way to make this economic model more sustainable.
So of the activities that you've just mentioned, does that include life skills? Because it's been proven that life skills imparted as early as the ECD level will make the children to grow to be highly effective individuals in their various sectors and spheres. Absolutely.
I think we do life skills with the children and we do life skills with the teachers. You learn through nurturing relationships. And so many of the teachers that we work through themselves are living in poverty and have experienced massive trauma and continue to do that on a daily basis in the communities that they live. So we work with the teacher, we do trauma management work, we are able to offer counselling to our principals and our teachers where necessary. And we really work on a deep level, because if she's not doing okay, it's very unlikely that she's going to be a fabulous teacher. And then we work with the children really to build that self-belief and that self-confidence. And we have a play-based learning philosophy, which really is that children learn through play, they learn through building good relationships with others. And so those are the skills that we're developing right throughout the early learning program.
All right, Tracey, great chatting to you. And this is an absolutely beautiful initiative, which will contribute to the welfare and well-being of South Africa's children. Great chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
That was Tracey, the CEO of GROW, Tracey Chambers, on the low-cost creches situated across the country to help disadvantaged communities, as she just mentioned. It is 8 minutes to 9.